Hi, thanks for clicking the video and welcome to iTech Solutions. In this lab, we will do HA configuration between two FortiGate firewalls. This is the topology that we will do for the HA configuration. This is our local area network, okay, and this is our WAN side which connect to the internet. Okay, done. And this is for the management purpose. Okay, the port 3 we will use for the management, and port 4 is the link between these two firewalls that we will use for the heartbeat. Okay, this is the link that will sync the policies and sessions and configuration between the firewalls. Okay, this is the port number 4. So there are some requirements that must met before you can configure the HA between two firewalls. The first is that they must have the same model. The second one is both firewall must run the same version and they have the same license. The second is both firewall must connect the same way. Okay, like I have port 1 that is connected to the WAN, then the other firewall must connect the port 1 to the WAN, and I have port 2 that connect to the LAN, then the other firewall must connect the port 2 to the LAN. So both of these must have identical connections. Okay, let's start the configuration. uh, First, I have already done the configuration in firewall 1. I have done interface configuration. Okay, I have done creating a static route. Okay, so that our firewall have access to the internet. Then I have also create a policy that allow traffic from our LAN to the internet. Okay, these things I have already done, and let's take the firewall on GUI and check it. 251 is the IP that I have configured. Okay, interface, all of the interface configuration already done. I have marked the IP address and inside and outside interface for the management and interface for the HA link. Okay, then I have created a one static route that points to the internet, and there is a policy. uh, this is the open wide policy which allow all traffic basically. Okay, so this is what I have done so far in the primary firewall. Let's verify that our firewall have a internet access. Execute ping google.com, and there is a problem. Our firewall is not able to resolve it, and execute ping 8.8.8.8, and yes, it is working fine. Okay, there is some packet drop because of the internet connections. Might be that's why it is not able to resolve the internet connection. So let's go to our client PC and check the connectivity. Ipconfig and ping 8.8.8.8. Press timeout, and there is some network issue. Okay, uh, anyway, our system can get to the internet. So let's start configuring our first firewall, then we will do the configuration on the second firewall. HA we will go in system and in HA. Okay, The current mode is standalone. Okay, you click on the standalone, and there are two modes: the active and passive. Active passive, sorry. What active does, that the both firewalls can send the traffic to the internet. Okay, what active passive means, that there is there is one primary firewall, okay, like this, and there is a secondary firewall which is passive. Okay, so the primary firewall will send the traffic to the internet, and the secondary firewall will monitor and copy all sessions from the primary firewall to its memory, so that in case there is a failure in primary firewall, it will take the role of primary firewall and start forwarding traffic to the internet. So there are two modes: the active and active standby. Okay, so we will configure our firewall in active passive mode. The priority is 128 is the default priority, and firewall with the highest priority will become the primary. Okay, so make sure you change the priority of the firewall that you want to make a primary firewall. So for this one, I will increase the priority to 150, and the group name. Both firewalls must have the same group name. So I will write it just uh, HA1. Okay, group name is HA1, and you change the password. Both firewall must have the same password, and uh, session pickup must be enabled so that it can resume sending traffic instantly in case there is a failure. And monitor interface. Okay, I have inside and outside. These are the two interfaces that my firewall will monitor, and in case there is a failure between any of these two interfaces, it will decrease this priority, and the other firewall will take over and start forwarding the traffic. Okay, and for the heartbeat, we have port number 4. So we will use port number 4 for the heartbeat, and I will reserve my management interface so that I can access both firewalls. Okay, if you do not select it, then both the firewall will have the same IP address on their management interface. Okay, and you will not be able to manage the other firewalls. Okay, so I will reserve it, and this is it. Just click OK. It will take some time to save the configuration. All right, it has created HA. Okay, the current status is unknown. Priority is 150. Hostname is FW1. This is the serial number, and the current role is secondary. Okay, it considers itself secondary, now primary, and the configuration is saying currently there is only one firewall. Okay, you see there is a link HA. It says the HA heartbeat interface. These two are the monitoring interface. Okay, so let's go to our secondary firewall and configure it for the HA. For that, we have to first configure the IP address on our management interface. I will do it fast. Okay, config system interface, edit port number 3, set IP 192.168.27.252 by 24, set allow access, which is ping and HTTP and end. Okay, now I will access the firewall with this IP address 252. Press enter. Username is admin. My password. Let's clear my screen. Okay, I will do later. Do not show me the videos. Just take me to rename the host name. This is FW2, and I will change the idle time mode to 60 minutes and apply. And from state here, I will go to from into the system and HA. From here, I will choose the active passive configuration. Okay, if I click here edit, we are using active passive, so we will use the same. And I will use the priority default priority 1 to 8 as because I have already increased the priority on my primary firewall, and group name is HA. We will use the identical configuration that we have. Okay, the group name is HA1, then password must match between the two. And monitor interface, we will monitor port 1 and port 2, port 1 and port 2. And heartbeat interfaces, the port number 4, and we will reserve the management interface port number 3. Okay, as in our topology, port 1 and port 2 are the monitoring interface, and port 3 is for the management, and port 4 is for the heartbeat. And just press enter or click OK to save the configuration. It will take some time. Meanwhile, I can go to my HA in primary firewall, and I can see that the secondary firewall is already showing here. Okay, with the priority of 128, host name, serial number, and the current role is secondary, and its uptime and the throughput. Okay, but the current status is not synchronized. It will take about 2 to 5 minutes to sync the configuration. Okay, larger firewalls can take more time, but in our lab environment, mostly it finishes synchronization between the 2 to 5 minutes. Okay, after about 4 to 5 minutes, my both of my firewalls configurations is synced now. This is my primary firewall, okay, that I had shown you. This is the interface configuration, okay, and the policy that we had created on the primary firewall, and the static route. Okay, now this is our secondary firewall, and it shows out of sync. Let's refresh it, and now it is synced, and both of the firewalls are showing here and have identical configuration. If I go into the interface, as you know, I did not configure anything, okay, on the secondary firewall, but when it synced, it copied the configuration from the primary to the secondary. So it has configured the IP configuration automatically. It has created a policy that I had created on the primary firewall. Come on, okay, and it has also copied all of the uh, routes that it present. Okay, so this is how we create HA in FortiGate. Uh, let's create one row, one policy for the DNS and see if it can copy to our secondary firewall. Okay, from inside to outside, and the source I will go for the open, but this time for service I will choose the DNS and click OK, and log all sessions, click OK. I have created a policy that will allow for the DNS first, and in our HA do a refresh and come here in HA on our secondary firewall, do a refresh and go into the policy, firewall policies. Our policy must reflect here in our secondary firewall. Okay, uh, yes. So the policy is copied to the secondary firewalls. So let's test it by let's test it here. Okay, I will perform a continuous ping on my system. Okay, to the Google DNS, and I will shut down my primary firewall and see that our traffic will be forwarded from the firewall to or not. Okay, so this is, I have stopped it. I'll go into the QEMU server, and yes, okay, even though my firewall is stopped, but my traffic is still going from my secondary firewall. And if I go to my secondary firewall and go into the HA, it assumes uh, now you can see, as you can see, that it is synchronized, but there is no uh, there is not showing this firewall one, which was our primary firewall. But as the firewall has gone down, and the secondary firewall has pick up the role of the primary firewall and start forwarding the traffic to the internet. Okay, so let's bring up our firewall. Okay, so guys, this was how we configure the HA in FortiGate Firewall. And thanks for watching the video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you like, please hit the like button. Thank you.